Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm comparing 4K action cameras. I've got two types I'm going to compare, and we're going to look at which one you should be buying if you're using it for streaming and webcam, and what other advantages do they offer. Let's have a look at that. Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm your host Zulf, and today we're looking at action cameras. I've got a couple here I'm going to be reviewing and letting you know my thoughts about them. So let's see what is worth buying and what is not worth buying, because it can get interesting with 4K action cameras. They offer different specs. There's loads of brands out there, but which one is the one you should be looking at? So right now I have two Apeman 4K action cameras. Why Apeman? Well, I've done a couple of videos on these. They've sent me a couple of cameras to test, and what I've been doing is finding out which ones are good value, what's the price differences in them, and which one would I recommend to you to buy if you're looking at 4K action cameras. So you know, on my channel I've done a number of videos about action cameras, which originally started with this Goodman's action camera, and at the time it was fine, but until you see good quality, you don't know what good quality is. That isn't 4K, by the way, it's only 1080p. So what will 4K bring to the table? Firstly, if you're using it for different functions, the 4K cameras give good, well, very good video quality, because I did a test on my channel where I took Max out for a walk and I used the A77 to record it 4K 30 frames a second, and I was actually quite surprised. I was like, okay, interesting. So you always see GoPro videos that have very good colors, but that was in the past. There's a lot of cameras now that have caught up to that sensor quality, including better glass on their cameras. So that means you're getting better video quality. So what I normally do with the 4K action camera is I plug my action cameras into my computer and I actually use them for streaming. So that's the purpose I use them for, or have used them for. Then I moved on to camcorders. Camcorders can be a bit bigger and bulky. So now if I can use something this small instead of my big DSLR cameras. So right now you can see I've got my front view, and then I've got additional views set up here as well. If I show you those, so I've got my top down view, that is a camcorder, and that allows you to see each of the screens. So now there I've got a camera over here, which is the two boxes, A77 and A87, and those are all different cameras. So it's different cameras set up with leads and power leads and all sorts. So if you can change that setup, would that be good for you? So that's the point of view I'm bringing to the table. So if you're interested in footage for action, then I won't be doing as many of those videos. I'll probably do some test videos down the line, but for now, because it's locked down and not many people will be able to do any action outdoors, the reason you're going to get these cameras is to use them to the most for making memories in your house with your family, or using them for Zoom calling, team calling with family, or meetings, and you can use them. So I can confirm the two cameras that I've got here can be used as webcams, fairly straightforward. A87 and A77. How you do that is you plug in a USB cable into the side of the camera, which I can show you now. Into the camera here, USB. Let me bring it down to the top down view so you can see that. If I can remember which screen it is. Yeah, there. Okay. So that one there, you plug in a cable, plug it into your computer, and then on the back of the camera you get an option for webcam. I did a test of that. You can check out the quality, and I was surprised. So it was actually half decent, well, a lot better than half decent. But the issue here is, what's the difference between the cameras? 4K is for video recording 4K, but we're not recording video, we're live streaming. So when you plug it in, will you get 4K? You won't get 4K for these two cameras. You'll get, on the A77, you will get 720p, which you can stretch out, which is perfectly fine. I'll show you a comparison of both of them in a separate video so you can see the differences of both cameras in a live stream example. The A87 is actually 1080p. So already the price difference there, one is nearly half the price of the other one. However, you're getting 1080p on one, you're getting 720 on the other. So what would I go for? I would go for the A87. And the reason for that is, firstly, we're not going to always be live streaming with it. So there's options there for future proofing yourself, because the A87 is a 4K Ultra HD. You'll get 4K at 60 frames a second. So if you decide to down the line use it as a camcorder and record stuff, you'll still get really good quality out of the camera for that purpose. It also is 40 meters waterproof. So if you decide to go swimming or beach or anywhere, you'll know you're safe for that distance. It's got a wide angle, and it's a decent battery. You can also record on there in different frame rates. So you can record, if you don't have a fast computer, because remember, if you're going to record at 4K, you want a computer, if you're going to edit the video, you want a computer that can handle that 4K to edit it. Because then if you're editing video normally at 720p or 1080p and your computer does okay, 4K is going to be nearly double, triple that amount of resolution that you're going to be trying to export. So your computer's going to have to work even harder. So that's a different kettle of fish, but keep that in mind. You can still record at 1080p at 60 frames a second on this camera, A87. And if you ever update your computer in the future, then you'll know, oh, okay, I can just go to the higher setting and record in a better quality. So there's multiple recording modes. The A87 actually comes in a lovely case, which A77 doesn't come in. So it comes in this case, like a hard case with all the accessories and everything inside it. So for that purpose, if you're going to give it as a gift, that is a great idea. It is nice. It's more luxury and better. The A87 is your budget option, I'll say, in the range, because the A87 is just straight to the bones. It gives you what it says, and it's got, let me give you this view. So 30 meters waterproof, LCD display, and 20 megapixel photos, 4K video, but the 4K is only at 30 frames a second. And I just dropped it down. That's what action cameras are good for. They're made to be taking a battering. And also, if I recall, the A87 is a touchscreen. Let me confirm. Let me show you this so I'm getting it right, because I remember I was playing with it and I was trying to figure out how to use it, and it was meant to be a touchscreen. Display capture. Okay, there. So the 4K 60 frames a second, A87, and yes, it is touchscreen. Because me being a dodo, I was hitting the menus. I think, why isn't it changing? And because I'm used to using cheapo cameras that aren't touchscreen, I didn't think, and now I know it is a touchscreen. So if you're thinking about buying cameras and you're looking at different types, especially the Apeman quality, if you've seen the examples online, this is the main difference. A87, 60 frames a second at 4K, and it comes in a nice package, and it 1080p webcam usage. If you plug it in, you can use it like that. The A77 is 30 frames a second, 4K, still perfectly usable. And if you're using it as a webcam, it's 720p. So the pictures are a bit smaller. You'll have to stretch it out. So that's the main differences between the two cameras. I've done videos separately about these cameras, so I'll link you to those so you can check them out. And overall, to be honest, they look similar apart from the circle glass on the A77 and the square glass on the A87. I'm holding the A87 upside down. And they feel really good. I like the buttons on them, especially when they're in the waterproof case, because what happens is sometimes in the waterproof case it's hard to push the buttons, but these buttons are nice and they feel like they're responsive, which is a good thing. So you can see that you can turn them on, you can use the menus on them. And the only thing with the touchscreen will be, can you use a touchscreen in the waterproof case? I wonder. Oh, let's check it out. Let's check it out. I doubt it, but you never know. And I need to charge the battery. I need to charge the battery. Oh no, okay, we're good. We got some power. Yeah, no, you can't use it within the touchscreen. Okay, so at least you heard it here first. On the A87, you will only be able to use the touchscreen outside the case. And that's a quick look at those two cameras. I'm going to do a bit more testing individually about these, using them via HDMI out, because they both have HDMI outs instead of the USB cable. And I'll link you to that playlist right here. So check that out, and I'll see you on my next video.